My name is Mr. Akpama. Today I'll be introducing you to our online lessons. We have basic science for you. And this class is for JSS2 students. Our topic is renewable and non-renewable energy. Before we continue, I remember giving you assignments in our previous class. Yes. And we had one objective to explain conversion of temperatures from degrees to Fahrenheit and vis-a-vis. I await that assignment so we can complete that objective, as I cannot explain that particular objective without getting no feedback or response from you. So when you submit your assignment, that's when I get your feedback. We will now continue with the previous, or also with the next topic or with the next subtopic. But for now, just to keep you busy, let's have this introduced. Renewable and non-renewable energy. Yes, renewable and non-renewable energy. One would wonder what renewable and non-renewable energy is all about. But just as the name suggests, renewable. Just as the name suggests, renewable energy are those energy which cannot be exhausted. Renewable energy are those energy that keep regenerating. You see, despite its use, as you keep on using the energy, it keeps on regenerating. It cannot be exhausted. That is a renewable energy. Now you can see examples of such kind of energy from the sun. The sun, no matter how you exhaust it or no matter how you use it, or should we say solar energy? Of course, solar energy is a form of energy and the source is sun. So sun energy or solar energy is the kind of energy, or is an example of the kind of energy that cannot be exhausted. Why is it so? Because as you keep on exhausting, as you keep on using it, it keeps on regenerating itself. So that is what renewable energy. So let's look at the examples of these renewable energies, or these renewable sources of energies. We have the solar energy. Of course, this has to do with using solar panels, that is cells and mirrors. Talking about cells here, you know what cells are? Your battery. Cells. Your battery contains these protons that can give you energy as well. So we're talking about cells here, we're talking about your battery. That's why most times even in your homes you have what we call rechargeable lamp, where you use cells over there. And the ones that are in vogue now are this solar rechargeable lamp, that when you use it, or torchlight, as you use it, as long as the sun is up, it keeps recharging it and you keep on using it. So one example we say is what solar energy, using solar panel, that is cells and mirrors. Okay, we also have biomass energy, using vegetable fuel from digesters. We also have hydroelectric energy, using dams. You know what hydroelectric energy has to do with? Using turbines, like the one we can generate, or the one we have now in Nigeria in Kanji Dam. It's called Kanji, but we refer to Kanji Dam. Remember, dams, using dams. That is hydroelectric energy, where you have turbines, where a dam or water falls in the dam, and it turns the wheels of the turbine. And as the turbines turn, what does it do? It generates electricity. So number 3 here once again is hydroelectrical energy. That has to do with using dams. And then we have tidal energy, using varying height of the sea, as of the sea tides. We also have waves energy. In most cases you will see, okay, let's say using energy from wave converters. Now, most times I know because of what we find ourselves now, you see it in movies. We don't find ourselves in such environment or in such areas like in the Western world, where this particular example we just stated is being used. But in most movies, most times you see, let me draw this example here for you. In most movies, most times you see a big house, or just a house like this, and then you see large poles with blades of fan. Most times you see 3 blades. You see you have 2 or 3 poles like this with blades of fan. Now they keep rotating, they keep turning as though they swing slowly. But as they do turn or as they do rotate, either clockwise or anti-clockwise, what happens? They are connected to a wave converter down should I say the structure or in the building. They are connected to a wave converter. So as it waves, what happens? It generates. There's a machine down there like turbines that can either be used for grinding of substances in companies, or you can also wheel some machines that will be used in productions of other goods and services or products, goods or products. And in most cases, it can also wheel the turbines of machines, and it generates electricity. So number 6 here we have wind energy. It works hand in hand with the previous one, using wind turbines with 2 or 3 blades. It's what I just explained over here. You see a large pole in a building using 2 or 3 poles, 2 or 3 blades connected to a turbine that wheels and generates electricity, or grinds machines or wheels machines that can be used for productions of other goods or products. And then number 7 here we have geothermal energy, using a shaft. Now you know thermal energy has to do with what? Boiling energy. When the molecules of given liquid boils. So now we have what? Geothermal energy. Okay. Now let us also look at types of non-renewable energy. But before we do that, let's look at what a renewable energy, what a non-renewable energy is all about. So a non-renewable source of energy are sources of energy which cannot renew, or which cannot be renewed, which cannot renew its energy, or which cannot be renewed after being exhausted. Now this is it. Non-renewable energy has to do with, so non-renewable sources of energy has to do with those energy or those kinds of energy that when they are exhausted or when they are used cannot be renewed or cannot be replaced. You understand? When you use it, it is finished. Most examples of such sources of energy, we have fossil fuel, chemicals. For example, you have your kerosene with you, or you have your coal. When you use it now to cook your food, what happens? It's exhausted, is it not so? It's exhausted, you cannot replace it, cannot be renewed. Okay, so now, after explaining this, let's now look at the examples of non-renewable energy. We have the nuclear energy that cannot be renewed. We also have fossil fuel. Examples of fossil fuel are coal, petroleum products, or natural gas, etc. Okay, the next thing we'll be looking at now will be the concept of energy and society. But I would love to get your feedback. I would love to have you think and research about this and submit to me, as I'm giving you this as your assignment. I need you to write short notes on the concept of energy and society. Now let me give you a clue about that. Energy and society has to do with how energy is used in the society. For example, the heat and light from the sun being a source of energy. The heat and light from energy can be absorbed or can be used by producers. Who are producers? Plants. Can be used by plants to do what? To manufacture their food. And what happens now? They manufacture their food and they don't give it out to what? Or to consumers. Who are consumers? Animals. We have primary consumers, secondary consumers, and tertiary consumers. So let me not bore you with the secondary and primary and tertiary consumers. Just take the producers and the consumers. So green plants take the heat and light from the sun. Don't forget, heat and light is a form of energy, and the main source is what? The sun. So the sun, being a source of energy, can give birth to, or can be transformed into or can be transferred into other forms like heat and light. Now the green grass or green plants can now use this light and heat as a source, so as a form of energy to do what? To manufacture their own food. Now when they manufacture their own food, what happens? Consumers now come into play. The consumers, that is animals. So the consumers are animals that do what? That consume the plant, or that eat from the plant. You understand that now? So the animals eat from the plant, and they also do what? The energy is also transferred from the plant now to, from the producers now to the consumers. Okay. Then what more, or how else do we use energy in our society? You know that the energy, the sun being the source of energy, also gives heat as a form of energy. This heat also does what? Regulates the temperature of the planet. So this is what I really need you to tell me. When I say you should write short notes on the concept of energy and society, don't just define energy and society for me. No, that's not what I want. I want you to tell me more about energy and society. You can even tell me more about the misuse of energy in our society. That's when you're talking about the consumers, like carnivores, herbivores, omnivores, and etc. So I really want you to write at least 2 pages about this, about the concepts of energy and society. So please do ensure to write your notes, write down the assignment, as well as your questions or observations, and submit as soon as possible. See you in our next class.